chat. Episode 28. Nintendo sues who? Is it Shenmue? So we're gonna.
Why would they sue Shenmue?
So spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You can already see it on screen. Nintendo isn't suing Shenmue. They're suing ROM sites. But
why did you spoil that? We should have saved that for the end. We should have built suspense.
I know. I screwed up, but then I realized that was the first article I had open, so they could already see it. So it was too late.
A good showman, but we'll work on it.
I like to think that I'm getting there.
You are.
You also forgot to introduce us. You always introduce us.
I know. Well, you interrupted my intro. So joining me, as always, is Dan, Mitch, Larone, and Mauricio, who doesn't always join us, but he is here this week.
Yep.
I learned something new about Mitch today, and none of you get to hear about it.
Oh, I didn't share about me. I'll tell you after.
All right. Well, no one listening is going to understand what we're talking about. So I'm going to start talking about our first topic. So Nintendo not suing Shenmue, but maybe somebody else is suing Shenmue. Stay tuned.
And yeah.
No. But okay, Nintendo has filed a lawsuit against the alleged operator of popular console ROM sites loveroms.com and loveretro.co. These sites are among the most notorious online hubs for pirated games, according to Nintendo.
I was gonna say I get my ROMs from other sites. I mean,
yeah, I've never heard of these sites.
I never heard of them either.
Hold on, what were they? Retro ROM and what?
Love Retro and loveroms.com.
Never heard of them.
I've heard of Love ROMs, not Love Retro, but apparently Love Retro is the same thing.
The only one I've ever heard of is Emu Paradise.
Yeah, I've heard of
Cool
Emu.
ROMs.
Yeah, Cool ROMs, Emu Paradise.
That's what happens when you go to Google. So
yeah.
How you find this trash?
Like back in high school or middle school. No, it was middle school. Cool ROMs was the first one, and then like in college it became Emu Paradise.
So they talked about by
the by, for the most part, I actually own these games. I just would rather have them on one device than bring a bunch of cartridges with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. None of us are advocating for anything illegal here, of course.
Right.
I mean, no.
But sometimes it's like, if I buy this game, I won't be buying it new, so it won't support the dev anyways, and then I'd have to play it on the Wii, which means I have to use motion controls. When the PC could just like make it a normal game.
You don't need motion controls on the Wii. You could just use the the classic controller that you plug at the end of the Wiimote.
Not for some games. I think Dan's referring to Skyward Sword specifically here.
You can play with a controller.
Wow.
Which
I don't have anything good enough to emulate, like, I want to say, like, past the PS1 or N64. Just my computer is like terrible, and the N64 emulators aren't that great. So I usually just emulate. If it was on a cartridge, I'll emulate that. But anything past that, I'll try and get the actual copy because I have the actual consoles for it.
You can't do Dolphin?
No, my computer's from like 2010.
His computer can't run it. I can promise you that.
It's okay, guys. I'll build a better one.
Yeah, you got this.
Make the Tenno pay for it.
Make the what? Back on topic.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Nintendo is requesting statutory damages of $150,000 per Nintendo game and $2 million for each trademark infringement.
Dude, what the hell?
So the theoretical damages are $100 million.
Now, what do they actually look?
That's unknown.
That's their demand, but what can they get?
Well, they can only get however much that this company theoretically has.
This fledgling website.
Which probably isn't a lot.
Will they get ad money?
And part of the reason why I think Nintendo is targeting these two sites in particular is like compared to Emu Paradise. Emu Paradise is not exactly what I would call a user-friendly website.
What are you talking about? You just click download, and then you go to another thing, and then you click download again.
Yeah, but that's just downloading ROM. See, okay, this thing did like Love ROMs and stuff. They did the whole deal. Like you went to a game, you clicked on the game, and it would include the emulator and everything. Like it's a one-stop
Whoa.
shop where you would just basically click a button and be playing. Some of the
I've
games,
never heard of that.
some of the games can actually be emulated in the browser, so
That's
you
pretty
don't
cool.
even have to download anything. You could just
Yeah, they have to go.
you could just start.
So
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 this
for
was
them,
like
it's
the
like-
next level. Like this is what the casuals were using because
I
you
see.
didn't have to set up an emulator. You didn't have to do any of that. It did it all for you.
You could get a straight
I
up
see,
normal,
gotcha.
click a button and be playing Nintendo game.
Exactly.
I
They had
remember.
to
I
go.
think it was in junior high or like my freshman year of high school. I found a website that had browser-based ROMs.
Yeah,
I
my
used-
friend told me about one of those too.
I'm
Like,
not
I
sure
know
if
what he's
it's
talking
if
about.
It might
could
have.
have been Love ROM.
It might have been Love ROMs. It's been around for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I
See,
remember
kids
I
have
would
it
play.
so easy. I remember I had to find a good emulator, and then I had to map the controls to the keyboard because I didn't have a USB controller. I played Mega Man in the most uncomfortable way ever, but I did it. Damn.
So you
I
messed up.
played.
I
I played
played-
Mega Man on the Wii U, and it came with the save states, so it was good.
I played Pokemon Yellow while also playing Adventure Quest using this website.
That's awesome.
I would have I'd have two browser windows open side by side, and I'd be playing Pokemon on one and Adventure Quest on the other.
Dude,
Oh.
Dan, I remember I was just thinking about Adventure Quest the other day. Oh man.
Wait,
Whoa! Somebody else who's played Adventure Quest? I've
Yeah.
never met another person
My
other
friend
than
Tyler
Dan
told
and
me
Mike.
about it long ago. It was really cool. I was just never good at it, or at least I felt like it, because I
That's
got
like
to
the
like
browser MMO, right?
yeah, it was pretty
no,
fun.
it's not an MMO.
Okay.
There's Adventure Quest Worlds, which is an MMO, but Adventure Quest was not an MMO.
I
It
don't
was
know
just
what
like
I
a
played. I played
flash-
something like that. It was just
There
like
was a-
turn-based combat with really like generic-looking enemies, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
No, that game had charm though. Like
the Dragon Slayer armor looked really cool. The Dracomancer armor, same thing.
Draco
and then
Mancer
when you
did look.
When you got the ice hammer and it did the critical thing where the snowflake blade would like fly around the screen and hit him real hard at the end. Man, middle school Mauricio was hyped as shit for that. I
was,
played it like a year ago and I saw that again and I got giddy.
I was one of the top warmongers in the world.
That's
In my
awesome.
prime.
Did you ever play any of their other games like Dragon something?
I tried a
You-
couple of them and couldn't get into any of them.
Yeah, they had like a sci-fi one. then
yeah,
they
they
had-
had Mech Quest, they had Warp Force, they had Dragon Quest.
That's the
Not
one,
Dragon
Dragon
Quest.
Quest.
Dragon Quest.
No, it
I
wasn't
tried
Dragon
to
Quest.
play Dragon Quest and Adventure
Like,
Quest
pretty sure
and
that's copyright.
no, but it was like
It was
Dragon.
Dragon something.
Yeah,
Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma. Speaking of those types of games,
Dragon Fable.
that's the one. That was a good game.
Just sliding under the copyright infringement there.
So, anyways, Nintendo is suing these people up the butt.
Yeah.
They were
Adventure
good.
Quest is a cool game. You should play it. I'm a moderator of the subreddit, even though I haven't played the game in like 5
Are you
years.
serious? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you
I'm
give
a-
me a bunch of stuff? Oh wait, you just said the subreddit. Never mind.
I'm only
Yeah,
a
I was
moderator
a
of two
moderator of
subreddits,
subreddit.
so you got me there.
So if you're a dirty normie that wants to have everything in the browser, sucks to be you.
Yeah, download an emulator like a real man.
Download an emulator and then get any type of USB controller and map your controls like a man.
Now, to be
Or
fair,
real gamer, because that's gender neutral. Real gamer.
it's also been harder and harder to get certain Nintendo ROMs on other sites too.
Yeah, Emu
Like-
Paradise doesn't have melee.
Yeah, Emu Paradise doesn't have the Smash games on it,
Oh, you're talking about.
and some other Nintendo, Wii and GameCube titles, and maybe some more. So that
I tried to
they've been polling certain really popular ones because of probably seeing Nintendo move forward on litigation on stuff like this.
I can still download my
Oh.
PSP ISOs.
because
It's
Nintendo never sent a cease and desist to Love ROMs. They just said no. They've built this huge case against them over the course of like a year, and
To be
they're
fair,
dropping a
they're-
big lawsuit
They're
on them.
blatantly violating the law. So
Yeah,
Nintendo?
they are. No,
what can you really expect?
Love ROMs.
Oh.
And Love
Isn't
ROMs
there
like takes it further. Like their whole site and all that is using a bunch of like Nintendo styled stuff, and
Ugh.
like if you look at like that picture of their homepage, it's like literally a Mario level. Like is the background, and like it's
Isn't
almost
there,
it's almost made to look like official, like an official
Listen,
place to play
These
Nintendo
people
games.
just love ROMs. Okay? They just
think
want to
it's
share it
unfortunate.
with people.
Like, you know, Pokemon ROMs, everyone makes those emulators that also randomize it and whatnot.
Who doesn't still own those games?
Wait, what?
I mean, a lot of people.
I had one friend who he doesn't own the games anymore because his stepmom burned them all because they taught evolution.
Excuse me? Oh, Jesus. What? Never mind.
Actually became a legal owner of Pokemon Silver. I only ever played it on emulator until they released it for the 3DS. And I
I
bought it for
I
the
don't know why they
3DS.
did that. They could just release Soul Silver again, which is just better.
Is it?
I mean,
Maybe I should-
I've never owned my first Nintendo console was a GameCube, so I didn't own any of the consoles prior to that, but I've played a whole bunch of games from them through various.
Yar har fiddly.
Speaking of older consoles, I bought a copy of Super Metroid on eBay the other day.
That's cool.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a good thing that you bought a copy of Super Metroid from, a random person, because Nintendo's getting a lot of money from that transaction.
No, I
And
didn't
if
buy
you
it
had
for. I
stolen
didn't buy it. I didn't buy it for like that, because I already bought it on Virtual Console. I just want to have the physical copy to play on like my actual Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
It's just for the.
I mean,
it's just for the sake of doing it, Like
yeah.
doesn't.
ROMs don't break like those old cartridges do.
That's
I
true.
mean,
Though to be fair,
He-
Nintendo does offer Virtual Console for most of the games you'd ever care about
That's
playing.
very true.
Yeah.
So
like,
they do
like-
offer a legal avenue to obtain most
for
of these games.
for some games, yeah. For like most of them, yeah. Like, but some of the obscure games, I feel, that you can't really play them anywhere too easily.
Like Jake,
But,
you remember
like,
that one game you were playing? You were like a god. You were doing a
What?
mission.
Oh yeah. No, that game's actually on Virtual Console.
Real.
What
You
game
didn't
is
buy
that?
it?
Yeah, you can buy that game.
No, but you didn't.
No,
Ooh.
Wow.
I had never heard of it. I had never heard of it until I came
Pirate.
across it
Uh huh.
in a zip file
When you
that
when you spent,
that
when you
has
spent
every
upwards of
single
5
SNES game ever released in it.
You spent upwards of
Damn.
5 minutes pirating every game on the SNES.
It was one zip
So
file.
So, anyways, there's
I-
like Mega Man X3 is like impossible to get like an English copy of. Like the Japanese copies for
Really?
the Famicom
I
are
bought
super
that on
easy.
the Wii U. Actually,
Yeah, I
own
know.
that.
But like they put that up for emulation on the 3DS and the Wii and the Wii U and stuff. So it's like that super rare game you can play pretty readily, which is nice.
Mhm.
Just an example of like stuff that they like what Jake was saying. They make pretty much every game you want to play available, but there's other stuff that like you
Yeah,
can't.
but some of the more obscure stuff aren't Nintendo games, so Nintendo's not suing sites over them. So those will be around.
Mm.
Like I think almost all of Nintendo's offerings at this point are available in one way or another on one of their virtual consoles.
Maybe.
Unless you're talking about the GameCube.
Yes. Okay, yes, except for GameCube.
What's
You're
up with
one-
GameCube?
I mean, and I guess Wii, if that's not new enough.
Yeah, but Wii's new enough. The last gen console could play all Wii games, so I'll consider the Wii. And everyone has a Wii anyway.
I don't.
Really?
I have a Wii U because I was
You
like,
have a
oh, I
Wii
could
then.
play.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't have a Wii either.
No, I never had a Wii. I had a 360.
I gave my Wii to my sister and brother-in-law.
Never got it back.
No, I gave it to my brother-in-law as a Christmas gift. I also
Never got it back because it was a gift and you didn't want it back.
I bought Super Smash Brothers and unlocked all the characters, and we played it on Christmas morning. It was pretty fun.
Awesome.
That is pretty cool.
I thought it was a good gift.
Yeah.
Next.
Meanwhile, I have 2 Wiis.
Oh my god.
But I actually did. I did give one of them to my sister. So
Oh, I was gonna say, did you have one modded and the other one for like no reason?
no, they're both modded.
He has 6 modded
okay.
Majora's Masks. It's
Excuse
different.
me?
I only have 4 Majora's Masks.
Like the 64 cart?
No, not no. On my Wii.
You
I have
4 different versions of Majora's Mask.
I have Majora's Mask English 1.2, Majora's Mask English 1.0, Majora's Mask Japanese, and Majora's Mask Randomizer.
Uh-huh.
And then I have like 5 versions of Ocarina of Time.
Oh my god.
No, actually, no, only 4.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
When you speed ran, when you sped ran Ocarina of Time, did you do that on VC or on emulator? I can't remember.
I mostly did it on emulator out of convenience, but ever since I stopped streaming, all the runs I've ever done have been on Virtual Console.
Mm-hmm.
So that's because capturing VC and like given my computer setup in dorms was too hard because I'd have to have like a CRT setup and then a capture card and then my laptop in the little dorm rooms. That just wasn't realistic. So that's why I had played on emulator because I could just do it. And I did, by the way, one of those copies of Ocarina of Time I have on my Wii is legally purchased from the Nintendo eShop. So I did pay for Ocarina of Time. Not the version I played, mind you, but that's because Nintendo won't let me buy the Japanese version. Virtually. Unless I have a Japanese Wii.
Remember when the
You
Chinese
have
version
a
was the
Japanese
fastest?
No, I don't. That's
Oh,
why I couldn't buy. That's why I couldn't buy the Japanese version.
makes sense. Story checks out. Fair play.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan, you were saying?
Oh, I was just saying, remember when the Chinese version was the fastest version of Ocarina of Time?
I do remember when the Chinese version was the fastest version of Ocarina of Time.
Why was that?
Text and lag.
So how did it not? How did that change?
There were some glitches that didn't work on the Chinese version, and text wasn't faster in all places, just some places. So
So what you're,
when the route changed, it changed in such a way where the Chinese version happened to no longer be the fastest version.
so what you're saying is it's more likely they built the Chinese version from scratch than the 3D version.
No, the Chinese version is basically the same. It's basically the same game.
Doesn't get the joke. Whoosh.
No, I mean I got the joke. It just wasn't a very good one. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Ooh.
Get wrecked, Mitch.
No you.
Yeah,
No,
I
you.
just got wrecked.
But yeah, that was interesting. I'm glad that's still not the case because for those who don't know, you might be asking yourself, "There's a Chinese version of Ocarina of Time?" And yes,
Oh yeah, there's a Chinese version of
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time.
there is a Chinese version of Ocarina of Time, and it was
To shreds, you say?
actually released in I think 2008.
Wow.
China got it pretty late, and it was because so China had a console ban for quite some time,
Right.
and so the N64 never got released in China, but there was a market in China that wanted to play some N64 games, and they couldn't. So Nintendo released the iQ Player, and the iQ Player was a plug-and-play device where you could like Nintendo officially gave you a place to download ROMs onto an SD card and put it into this plug-and-play device, which it was a controller you held in your hand that had an N64 inside of it, and you plugged it straight into the TV.
That's cool.
Old school style. Yeah, it was kind of a not great thing to use, like when people
That's
were
just
speedrunning and stuff.
the law, but
Well, and it's because it's a really big, it's a big heavy controller because it's got a console inside of it.
I thought you said this was like 2008.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Vanilla.
It wasn't like amazingly sleek and compact.
Fair enough.
Like it was meant to be cheap. They needed it to be cheap, and this thing got like hella hot. So like you're holding this like really warm controller, and it was just like a sweat machine as you played games and just made your hands sweat. But it wasn't shaped like an N64 controller. It was like a modern controller shape, so it wasn't like as terrible.
Not crabs. It reminds me of playing my GPD Win. That thing is not the best with heat, and it just heats up the shit out of your.
Yeah, I guess
fingers.
I'll show what it looks like on the stream.
The last time we were on topic.
But yeah, well that's what it looks like anyway. There's the IQ player. All right, so moving on to our second topic. Amazon now lets you finance gaming PCs and PC parts at 0% interest rate. 5 monthly payments, no catch.
Huh.
It is very strange, but sounds nice. If that graphics card is too much for a one-time purchase, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can just imagine some dumb white guy in his early 20s thinking he's gonna make it big streaming.
Think he's gonna. No, Mitch. I see where Mitch is going with this.
Where am I going? What?
Shit.
I have.
That was the way to that was a good way. I was confused when Mitch answered because I'm like no way I said Mitch. Anyway, carry on.
So
I
some
missed
dumb
that entirely.
white guy in his early 20s thinking he's gonna be the next ninja, getting this computer for free basically. Or that's what he's thinking inside.
20%.
I'm gonna get this computer.
Yeah, you have to
for
pay
free.
20. You have to pay 20% of it up front. You have to pay the first month right away.
20% of it up front. And then he's just like, oh, I'll just get subscribers and I'll pay for the rest later. And then he just doesn't. And then Amazon and him are both.
I mean, couldn't you do that with a credit card anyway?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you have
people-
to pay interest on a credit card.
You do. And you could stretch this 0% payment. You could stretch it out even further with your credit card. So,
Yeah. I guess. Okay, well.
but I mean, yeah, it's possible somebody could do
I feel
that.
like this is just gonna be this is gonna cause an inundation of bad streamers.
That is a strange prediction,
I dig it.
but that's
Oh wait.
what.
So this is a new thing for all big ticket items. That's something that was left out.
Oh, is it?
Amazon now has a monthly payment system for big ticket items that shifts payments across 5 months instead of all at once. For
Oh,
instance,
so any big. Oh,
so this article is just kind of misleading. Right off
It
the
is
gate.
technically
Right off the
true.
gate.
And we do know that
No,
Jake
yeah.
now only reads the titles.
yeah. I only read the title. That is true. Well,
If you want to form good opinions, you got to go to the comments and let them do that for you.
that's true. Where are the comments?
Let's see. How expensive is big ticketed item?
$6.
The applicable categories for this new program are laptops, desktops, tablets, monitors, computer components, drives, and storage, memory, network, computer, and tablet accessories.
Oh no, yeah. So it is. It is only for computer stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna just look at the
Wow,
Amazon.
Dan. Wow.
Can you blame me with that wording? Honestly,
Yeah, it says big ticket items, but they mean big ticket items in the categories of laptops, desktops, tablets, monitors, computer components, drive, storage, memory, networking, and computer tablet accessories.
Wow, Amazon. What the hell? I'm done.
So it is sort of a strange. It's strange that it is 5 months, and that's your only choice. You either pay it normally or you do it in 5 months. No more, no less. So that's sort of strange. I've never heard of a 5 month payment program. But
How do they like make you pay?
the same way anyone else would.
Yeah.
There are
I see
some.
what Lauren is saying though, but like, so like you can say, yeah, I'll pay it, whatever, and then you get rid of the credit card when you get it physically, and then if you have no other-
And then they send a collection agency after you.
Oh.
Well, it's your fault for.
It's the same thing like a credit card company would do if you had a credit card bill and then you just decided not to pay for a year.
Got it.
And also there are some requirements. You have to be a resident of the United States. Your Amazon account must be active for at least 1 year. You must have valid credit card associated with your
Okay.
Amazon account, and you must have good payment history on
See, that's all I needed to
Amazon.com.
hear was a valid credit card.
Do you not have one?
No, I mean like you could just not give a valid credit card.
Oh
But
yeah,
they're not that stupid.
no, you can't even use a debit card. It has to be a credit card.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You get like a prepaid or something, but no, they're not stupid.
It has to be a credit card, and they do that so that way it's easier to chase after you if you don't pay.
Cause some dumb website, they didn't have requirements. You could get like a prepaid and give them a PO box or something.
Yep. But no, and yeah, you have to have good payment history with Amazon.com for a year, so they are reasonably confident that most of the people who are eligible
You
for
can
this
have
service
bad
are
payment
going
history
to.
with Amazon.
I mean, yeah, you could. You could have had like payments that bounced or stuff like that. There are people who get their accounts blacklisted for doing things like excessive returns on items that are clearly not legitimate.
I've had to return a couple things on Amazon because I bought a tablet and they sent me. It's supposed to be new, but they sent me one that was clearly used and it was also password locked. So.
Jesus.
Mistakes happen. Like I have had to report 2 things stolen with Amazon, and those are the ones that I feel like you have to be like the most careful about, because like.
Yeah.
But both times they were like, yeah, no problem, refunded me. But apparently they've cracked down recently on people who abuse that, and are just like banning people's accounts. And the associated credit card numbers with those accounts, which is the most important part. They're just like, that credit card can't be used anymore. But, I mean, anyone who's like trying to scam Amazon in that way, like...
Like, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. And, I mean, too, like, they would probably be, like, making temporary credit cards and, like, new accounts all the time, but I don't know, maybe not. It just seems like a really slow and inefficient way to make money. Especially because Amazon generally, if you report an item stolen or whatever, they don't want to give you cash. They'll like either, usually the thing they offer most is like, we'll send it again. We'll just send you that same item again.
Yeah.
Usually.
So then what you have to do is you basically get the first item, report it stolen. Then you get the second one, and then you sell them both, I guess, and try to make more than the cost of one of them.
You pretty much
What are we
just have
talking
to.
about?
I don't know.
I
People
forgot what we were talking about.
people scamming Amazon, but now you can get Amazon shit at 0% interest. So that was the original topic. If you buy gaming stuff at 0% interest, I think this is fine. It's cool.
To help more people.
I mean, Best Buy has done stuff like this on and off in the past too. I'm sure a lot of retailers have.
Just another example of Amazon being like, wait, how are we going to make money on this? Wait, we're not?
I mean, they will make some money on this. most likely. The money that they will make is maybe more people will be willing to buy expensive things on Amazon because they can finance it.
This is
People
certainly
love being able to finance stuff.
something that I can't.
And to be fair, 0% financing, like, I mean, if I was ever buying something expensive on Amazon, I would just do that whenever offered because why not?
Hell not.
It's almost always a little bit better to finance things for 0% if you can. So, yeah. Like with my car. Hey.
See, they let you finance it at 0%. For me, they were like, "We're gonna need one grandfather." I'm like, what? So I sold my grandfather. Got a car.
That's
It's an alright trade.
Yeah, equivalent exchange.
never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. So, moving on. Dutch players can now see rewards in Dota 2 before buying and opening loot boxes.
What does
Cool.
this mean?
You can
So essentially, you look at a loot box, and before you purchase it, you can see what's inside. So you're no longer gambling on what's in a loot box. You're now gambling on what's in the next loot box.
So like, let's say you have a really your next loot box or the loot box in the shop, it has really bad stuff in it. Are you just stuck with that until you buy it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you'd be stuck with it until you buy it, regardless if you could see it or not.
Well, yeah, you're right.
This
don't know
is
how I
this
feel
is
about
this
that.
is a clever way to circumvent the law,
Yeah.
but it is 100% no different. I wouldn't go say 100% no different.
It's
No,
well,
there's
Why?
logical. I mean, information is valuable. No
But you're
matter.
no longer gambling on what's in your current loot box. You're gambling on what's in the next loot box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's really interesting.
it is very interesting. I have a feeling it would have net like zero effect on the amount of money that flows in.
I think some people will see that and they'll say, "Wow, I don't want to buy this." And they'll get some people with it,
Yeah.
and they no longer have the ability to buy like 100 of them. You have to buy them one after another.
That's interesting.
Hey
Okay.
guys, I got a topic for discussion.
Okay.
Just real quick. What defines you calling a game story driven? Like what is it?
If it has a strong plot,
Well,
Right.
but that's
There's some
different than
games that have
story
a strong-
driven.
Right. I'm saying like what does story driven mean to you? To me it's like the whole game is just that story and you can't really deviate from it and you're kind of you're set on one path and that's pretty much all you can do. Like the David Cage games, like it's all about the story. There's not much you can stray from.
Yeah, I kind of see that. I can also see us calling some games story driven if that's like what defines the game more than anything else. Like if talking about the game after playing it, you wouldn't talk much about the gameplay. You would just be talking about the story because that's what defines the
that's
game
a-
experience.
That's a really elegant, good definition.
Okay, but like then they consider this. All of my friends that played The Last of Us, which has combat and it's like a game, they only talk about the story. They're like the gameplay's fine, but they only ever talk about the story.
Yeah,
But I would consider that a story-driven game.
yeah, I agree.
Because you're still playing.
Yeah.
There's stuff to do.
I think Last of Us is a story driven game.
Yeah, maybe, but like, yeah, okay. I don't know. But no, my friend was just like, would you consider Zelda a story-driven game? And I wouldn't
No.
really.
No.
See what I'm saying? Like, you can play and you could do whatever you want. Eventually, you can get to the story, whatever. But like,
But most that fits with Jake's definition. Most conversations I've had about Zelda have been about the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like the story sucks. It's
honestly,
bad
for
guy.
Zelda, I think
Go
the,
beat him.
I think
The
I don't know,
story is
it's
not
just-
good.
it's definitely the better parts of the game. I don't know if I want to say story though, but there's because like the plot's retarded, but there is more. I'm trying to. It's just,
Which
like,
game
the,
did he-
the
which
setting,
game was he talking about just
the
now?
like, just kind of the. I am at a loss for words here.
I think you're going after world building,
Yes, the world building.
but that's not really story. That's just sort of like a consequence of it being
Well,
a video game.
I was more saying
Right.
he said
Okay.
most people talk about the gameplay, but when most people talk about the gameplay of Zelda, they're explaining why it's terrible.
It's not that is just not
Well-
true. That's just in the circles that you happen to.
Well, I mean, for the most part, when I talk to like take for instance, I never really played Zelda until like I want to say college, because that's when I got a 3DS and I played Ocarina of Time. Like I never really played Zelda until then. But like whenever people talked about Zelda, they didn't talk about the story too much. They were just talking about how fun Zelda was. Like even gameplay was secondary to just like, oh man, Zelda's so fun, you can do all this stuff. So I wouldn't consider that story driven for that reason. But like let's go to like a shooter, right? Like Halo, like the original Halo trilogy, right? 1 through 3. They have a story that's very interconnected and makes sense, and it's a straight, this is what you're doing, but it's a shooter before anything. And when
Yeah.
people talk about Halo, they'll mention the story when you're talking single player, but then it's like, oh, but played Halo with my friends all the time, blah blah blah. So I wouldn't. That also, I guess, fits with Jake's description of if the
Yeah.
story is the first thing they talk about, then it's a story-driven game.
Yeah, I just
I
think
guess
that's
the
like
big thing for
super
me is
duper
if you
simple.
can't deviate from that story and do other things, then and the story is what's driving the game forward and that's it, then yeah, I guess I would consider it story.
Yeah, and I think there are definitely some games that probably fall into sort of a gray area, for sure. In even my definition, like I think
No, you're
maybe Mitch agrees with it, but Xenoblade.
Story driven, yeah,
I think it's story driven, but
because it has a heavy plot.
it does have a heavy plot. But most of the vast majority of the time you spend in the game isn't interacting with the story or advancing the story.
I think
So it's
that
kind of
one's-
strange. But like,
think
yeah,
it's
I guess after the
similar to
fact,
Zelda.
the thing that you're going to talk about most is the story and the jank. So
and now it's Rhine time.
yeah, and I mean, I guess the amazing worlds and scenery and stuff and the technical, like it's one of the most beautiful games.
The aesthetic, maybe.
Yeah, the aesthetic, but yeah,
What I'm
it's
looking for.
definitely. I mean, the game has 10.5 hours of cutscenes, so it's probably pretty story driven. But then you get to like Xenoblade X, and then like I don't even know.
That's way more
Okay.
gameplay.
It's like more gameplay, way less
and actually,
story.
that's the Breath of the Wild of Xenoblade games.
What
Okay, yep,
about-
accurate.
What about other M?
So okay,
I
this is
would
a
consider-
great
I would
example.
I would consider other M story driven, but
So
I would
haven't
also
played other M, but I've played the other Metroids, and the other Metroids, for the most part, don't tell you anything except for Metroid Fusion and like
I mean,
and Zero Mission to an extent. But it's like Metroid 1.
I mean, they're
you just-
Metroidvanias, right? So.
Well,
they're
I
not
wouldn't.
supposed to tell you anything.
Well, I guess, but like to go with that, it's like Metroid 1, 2, and Super Metroid. They just kind of land you in the world, and you just kind of go from there and figure it out. And then Metroid Fusion puts you on a much more linear and gives you a story, but I still wouldn't consider that story driven.
consider Metroid Other M story driven. And I feel like when I want to talk about the game, I talk both about why the story sucks and why the gameplay sucks. Like, equally.
Maybe bad games are harder to define than good games.
That could be the case.
I'd say good games are harder to define, just because that's what makes
Interesting.
them good. Bad games, you can usually be like, oh, it tried to do this, but completely failed and did nothing else backing it up.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's that statement? What's that do? What was that?
What was what?
He's saying about bad games. You can say, "I tried to do something, but it failed." So like, what was the? I
Well,
didn't
bad
get what
game, you would say, I tried to do something and I failed. Like I tried to make a story-driven game and failed, and then there was nothing else to keep the game interesting. So it's easier to say it's easier to define bad games as like story driven or whatever, because that's all
I
they
see.
have.
Gotcha.
Like like you said, The Last of Us, it was hard for you to figure out.
Well, I never
And
played it
that's because it does
from
more
what
than
people
just
told me.
story.
Yeah, but it's like a game like Beyond Two Souls. It's like that game. The story was just what was that? But that's all it was. You know, like, and it's a David Cage game. Of course, it's story driven. But like, I just wanted to shit on Beyond Two Souls. Sorry.
Never actually played it.
All right, well,
And then
moving on.
Sorry.
This is sort of a we're gonna go to our little Smash Bros block here. Got 2 Smash Bros topics. This first one is just sort of random, but Mewtwo King kind of gave what he thinks are the top 10, really 11 players in Melee right now, and I'm just gonna read these off in order. Starting with number 1, HBox, not very controversial. Armada, not very controversial. Plup, Mewtwo King, Leffen, Mango, Wizrobe, Axe, Zane, Amsa, SFAT.
Yeah, there's only one. Like every single one of these is super safe, except for Mewtwo King putting himself above Leffen.
Well, I think Leffen would go low on the list because he's pretty much given up on Melee to play fighters.
Have you? Okay, so actually, Saves Untitled. It's a YouTube channel that I watch. He
Okay.
does. He did a video on 4 through 6. And he doesn't actually like tell you what he thinks they are because he wants you to form their own opinion. But like Mewtwo King's, like I watched. You should just go watch the video because it's pretty clear that Mewtwo King's results are just not where like Leffen. So out of the top 6, Leffen does amazing against everyone but Hungrybox. He's the only person in the top 6 who has a winning record against Armada. None of the other players have a winning record against Armada.
Oh,
The only player in the top 6 he has a losing record to is Hungrybox, I think. Like it's just very clear that Leffen's number 4 from watching that video, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
You've convinced me.
Yeah.
I was kind of on the fence about it, but that makes sense. That's a pretty
Mewtwo
clear,
King-
objective argument.
Like Mewtwo King has losing records against Plop, Armada, and Hungrybox, I'm pretty sure. And maybe Mango and Leffen.
No, he has a winning record on Mango.
He has a winning record on Mango. That makes sense because Mango's done pretty bad. Yeah, Mango's pretty clearly 6. And I think the argument was basically Save as Untitled kind of said that like Mango's number 6, but do you value Mewtwo King's Summit win more than Leffen's consistency? That was the question he posed at the end of the video. So Mewtwo King's got the higher heights with his win at Summit, but Leffen's just been so beating everyone besides HBox.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how you measure it. Like if Mewtwo King maybe is number 4 in the like instantaneous velocity, but not the like over the past few years with a bigger weight on recent events sort of ranking.
He also did a 7 through 11 video, and he had a really, really interesting stat about Wizrobe.
7-Eleven
Wizrobe-
is an inside job.
Wizrobe hasn't lost 2 sets to someone in a tournament. Every time he gets knocked into losers by someone and faces them again in losers, he beats them in losers.
Huh.
Which I think is super.
That is really interesting.
And it's like happened a number of times with like high ranking players where they'll knock him into losers and then he'll beat them in.
That's like the opposite of Mango,
And like
who likes to lose to the same person twice.
yeah, I think like at Optic Arena, Hungrybox knocked him into losers and then he won twice in grand finals.
That's kind of
That was
crazy.
like yeah. like he's got an insane record against people he's already played in that tournament.
Huh. Huh. That's super cool.
Yeah. Anyway, Save is Untitled. It's a good channel. I
Yeah.
recommend them. Stay away from their podcast, though. They're trying to butt into the podcast.
How dare they?
Yeah, we've got that market cornered, buddy.
Do we? We don't really talk. This isn't really a Smash podcast, except when it is.
It's a
Anyway.
gaming podcast. No, it's a Smash podcast. Massive gaming podcast.
It's it's a gaming podcast that has its Nintendo and Smash biases,
Yeah.
which is, to be fair, a lot of gaming podcasts. I mean, we're the only one. This is a unique new idea.
That's a funny way to spell it. Ridley.
Ridley and Smash? Alright. Anyway, this is... Yeah, I think we'll save our audience from having to hear about more of this if it's not something that they're into. So we'll continue talking about Smash Bros. Super Smash Blog may have deconfirmed custom movesets from everyone except for MiFighter, which
Yay!
would be cool or fine. I mean, like,
Which means they have to debate on the creative moves whether or not they want to actually put them in there. Instead of just saying, you know what, this move could be cool, let's just not give it to the character.
yeah. So we were talking a little bit before the podcast, and we're hoping that they're trying to streamline the Mii fighters a little bit in this game to make them simple and easy to like. You don't have to like pre-make them ahead of time. You can just like maybe choose some canned Mii fighters and like just standard height Mii fighter, and then you just choose some specials. Maybe they'll only have one height instead of you being able to choose the height of your character, which was kind of a busted, weird mechanic. Like, I get the customizability, but the height of your character is pretty important for balance, especially in Smash Bros.
Wow.
Since the height of your character impacts a lot of things, like your hitbox and your hurtbox, and yeah, it turns out if you can make a really strong character tiny, they're really broken. Because all of a sudden a bunch of hitboxes a bunch of things that wouldn't normally connect easier, and you are harder to combo and follow up on, and you can duck under grabs and stupid things like that.
Yes.
So, but yeah, no custom. I mean, to be fair, I don't know if anyone was really expecting custom moves to make a return in this game.
I mean,
I'm
they
just
had to
kinda-
put so much work into making the characters, and there's so many of them. They had
Yeah,
to skip out some.
There's such a nutty number of characters. Like, to expect.
You really want to make triple the specials?
I mean, they
Yeah.
could always
So-
go the Fighter Z route and just make 6 Marios.
So I'm kind of hoping that
Nice
they'll at
switch.
least look at the custom specials they implemented in Smash 4 and think about changing some specials out.
Yeah,
It's
that
like-
would be cool. Like DK. I
heard-
wouldn't mind seeing DK's uppy, one of his special uppies, the whirlwind one.
Like, as long as they don't turn
No,
Palutena
that's
into
not what I was
flying
talking
Sonic,
about.
it's fine.
No, I was thinking like consider actually making Palutena not suck, because like Palutena with customs is supposed to be like a good character.
She is
Yeah, she
That would
is.
be cool.
flying Sonic. It is awful and unbalanced.
Yeah, maybe a little bit toned
Was she
down.
really broken? Like was custom
The one
Palutena
time
really
I faced her
broken?
online with custom moves on accident, it was awful. Like, it was literally like fighting Sonic, but it could fly.
Yeah, custom Palutena is actually like broken, but like some of her custom moves are too good to be her normal.
Didn't
everyday
online
specials.
customs include stats too?
Probably.
They might
I,
have.
I was trying to join like a normal tournament. I joined a custom tournament, and everyone was Palutena.
I just remember Smash and Splash 2 custom moves were allowed at that tournament.
Yep.
And there were multiple doubles teams that involved customs Palutena, and there was a lot of them because it
Are you
was.
sure that wasn't? That was Smash and Splash 1. Smash and Splash 2 didn't have customs.
Could you imagine if
You're
they
right, it was
brought a
it was
custom
Smash
move
Splash
or just
1.
removed them from the game?
Customs Mega Man was awesome.
Mega Man.
Customs Mega Man was cool. Do you remember
Super
Scat?
Fighting Brute.
Yeah, I remember Scat.
Fighting to save the universe, whatever.
Fighting to save the world. Close.
There you go.
I remember I played the hell out of Smash on the 3DS just to unlock all of the customs for Mega Man. Once I got them all, I was like, I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah, I tried to unlock all the customs for Yoshi, and then I realized, wow, this game fucking sucks. It's like, I do not like the single player.
So I'm watching Esam's video about why Small Me Brawler is dumb. And it seems like Small Me Brawler has down throw to forward air to
It's like
side
only the small
B
one?
or down B, and it kills it like if you get the down throw at like 50%, it kills.
Wow. That's like pre-patch Diddy. Level broken. That's crazy. Yeah.
I think it's kind of weird that, like, characters in Smash can be broken because they have a single good option.
There's a name for that in gaming that I can't remember.
Called grapplers. Like the entire concept of a grappler is like you get a grab and then you kind of just win, but it's really hard to get a grab and you're.
Yeah, I was
hitbox is
thinking more
typically
general dominant strategy or
Occam's razor.
I don't know. Like if somebody if some character or something has one move that is better to everything else, it will be
One trick?
no, it's something
huge.
to dominant strategy, but it doesn't matter.
Anyway, customs I think should be reevaluated. They should not be in Smultimate, but
It would be cool to see some of the custom moves from Smash 4 get implemented as the default special in the new game.
especially for newcomers to Smash 4. Like if we saw Palutena or
Palutena.
Shulk or
Mega Man.
something.
Imagine
Mega
if
Man.
Imagine if Yoshi had like all of his specials, like it had the giant stars and the super high damage.
Did you know Ness can absorb the giant stars with his
Huh.
side magnet?
I did not know that.
Also, when Kirby taunts, he shoots out a star that has a hitbox, and Ness can absorb that.
Can he absorb Greninja's little water spouts?
No.
No. That's a physical projectile, not an energy projectile. He could bat them.
Nice.
Yeah, he can bat any projectile. Can he bat Kirby's taunt?
I don't. Maybe on a custom stage, because I think you would need the platforms to be in a specific place. I don't see why not.
Sweet.
I always liked using reflectors like Ness's bat, box this thing on Villager's bowling ball, because he'll drop it down and it'll just go straight back up.
It is wonderful. I didn't know until Smash 4. Maybe everyone knew this but me. But that reflectors
Probably.
can, like Ness's bat or Fox's shine, can break. Something I
Yeah.
did not know about until Smash 4. It's apparently also in Brawl. I'm not sure if it's in Melee or not. I think it
I
is.
feel like in Melee you could laser back and forth between two shines forever.
You can, but the shine doesn't get stronger every time. Like not the shine. The laser caps out at a maximum damage pretty quickly. And I think most things do, like after like 10 reflections or whatever. But maybe I'm wrong. But I don't know. I think that's a cool. I think that's a cool mechanic that, like, I'm sort of surprised it exists in the game, because does anybody ever encounter that in real gameplay? Like, I have never seen it actually happen before. Even in, like, multiplayer, like, crazy 8-person free-for-alls with 3 villagers, I've never seen it happen. Like, it seems like something that would only happen if you, like, contrived it to happen. Like, you had to, like, actually try to make it happen.
But Sakurai's the type of person who'd be like, someone's gonna try and make this happen. Let's make rules for it. And he was right. Like,
Yeah?
of course someone's gonna try and make it happen. So there needs to be rules for it, how it's handled.
That's true. I mean, he could have just as easily left it alone. Well, easier, just leave it alone and let things get arbitrarily stronger. But I kind of like the breaking idea. It's just something that you wouldn't normally see. I don't know.
Dramatic pause you had going there.
What?
Like the dramatic pause you had going there.
Yeah, well, you know. That's what happens when you're sick. Your brain just sometimes freezes for short bits at a time.
Stop being sick.
Can we
Working on
talk
it.
about our main topic of the night?
Yes.
Are we just talking about Smash?
We're talking about Shenmue 3.
Shenmue 3,
Oh.
oh god, it's better
So,
than that
turns
game.
out they're not being sued. Actually, they hit their $7 million stretch goal.
Okay,
which,
wait, no, stop right there. Isn't this game like funded?
So here's the thing that I ranted on years back when it was a thing. they had people kickstart this thing, right? For like $10 million was their goal. First off, a game like that's they're selling off as going to be so what's the word? Prestigious isn't the word I'm looking. But like a AAA big game, right? You know, Shenmue, bringing it back. $10 million isn't going to cover shit. Like it's not enough. So then they're like, "Oh yeah, we hit our goal. Guess what? Sony's going to fund it anyways." This was just kind of nobody ever like outright said it, but it was basically, from what I can tell, it was like gauging the market to see if people would even want a new Shenmue. And it's like, so like what when is the game coming out? We don't know. Whatever.
So the game already had the funding it needed, and they have
It was gonna
7
get
million
funded.
more.
It was going to get funded pretty much regardless, yes.
yeah, and it's being
guys.
funded by Sony for some unknown, like, sum of money. Like, they haven't...
Oh.
So it's like... It's probably a lot.
Like
And
fully
usually the way
funding
those
the game.
exclusives work is that like Sony will cover all the marketing, which is like the biggest expense.
So the Kickstarter is still ongoing, which I didn't know.
Yeah, it's still going.
Actually.
Yeah, they still have more
So-
goals to.
Every dollar donated to this podcast tonight
We already did this
will
last
go
week.
directly. We did it for Ninja last week. This week we're doing it for Shenmue 3.
No.
Yep, every dollar donated to this podcast, either through bits or subs, will go to
Every
Shenmue.
dollar donated will go to my lightsaber. It's gonna have a
Next
purple
week.
ring
No,
as
no,
the
no,
button.
Next week it'll go to your lightsaber. This week we have something more important. Shenmue 3.
Got it.
By the way, even on the Kickstarter, the still active Kickstarter, the estimated date of delivery for the game is December of 2017.
Ooh.
And yeah,
Google
there's
says its initial
Wano
release date is
2017?
2018.
December of 2017 is what the Kickstarter shows.
The game still looks like it was made on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, this game looks horrible. Like, visually, like the graphics are terrible looking.
I just remember when it was announced and everyone was freaking out, and I'm just like, shit, what the hell is Shenmue?
Yeah,
I
I think most people
I
are like, "What the
remember-
hell is Shenmue?" Because I have no idea.
I remember a certain somebody that we
Yep.
know got all hyped for it, like, "Oh my god, guys, Shenmue's coming back." It's
Is
like,
Julian?
dude, no, baby. And it's like, dude, you played Shenmue? That's crazy. He's like, no.
It's like, nope.
He's like, no, everybody talked about it and I've heard about it. It's like, what the hell are you excited for? You've got no horse in this race. What the hell? and he was so hyped for it, and I was like, "You're serious?" It's like, I don't even know, man. It's too much. Too much.
Yep. Shenmue, more like Shenpoo. Am I right, guys?
Or
Shenmue
like
3, more like Shenmue P.
there we go, Dan.
Yeah.
There we go. I like that one.
Shenmue 3, more like Shenmue Kill Me. Am I right?
Shenmue.
So I
Alright,
just shared
You have to avenge
I
my
just-
death.
shared in the podcast chat an actual screenshot that they released to like try and convince us that this game isn't going to be awful.
Is that Anchor Arms?
I don't know who that is.
So none of us have played Shenmue, right?
No.
I know.
No.
So, alright, I was gonna say, would we consider Shenmue a story-driven game? Because they made 2 Shenmues, and
I have no
the
idea.
story is like a big part of it, but it's open world. You can go do whatever. You can fuck off and not do the story.
These screenshots look like the ones I just put in the podcast chat.
The resolution. is
every
not
single-
great on my phone.
It's not great, but every single one of these looks awful.
Hey, this is what your $7 million.
No, not 7 million. 10 initially, plus another 7, plus whatever Sony's funding.
So since we aren't jumping on enough bandwagons, only doing the podcast, we should also do a Let's Play channel where we play through Shenmue together.
Oh my
That would
God.
require it to come out.
See, I
No,
would
we
love to have a
just play
Let's
through,
Play
like,
channel where we play
Shenmue
like
2.
co-op games or.
I am
Oh,
pretty
I-
sure. I'm pretty sure Waluigi is legal.
I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. How much
Wait,
did
hold
Shenmue
on.
make?
Wait, what? What did we
Because-
get? Sorry, what? I missed that.
Someone in the chat told us to legalize Waluigi.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he's actually legal.
You just turn on assist trophies.
Wait, he was first in Mario Party 3, right? How old is that game?
old. I don't know.
Yeah, but
N64.
Does anybody know if the 3 people that backed $10,000 to I'm
If they're
sorry.
very mad, they probably
this-
are.
This 5 people? They backed $10,000 to this thing. Actually, it was a few people. What? They they went.
Yeah,
to, did
3
anybody
people.
know if they actually went to dinner with Yu Suzuki and got a Rio jacket replica? Does anybody know if they got their
That's a
jacket?
Japanese company, right? That making the game.
Yeah.
So you pay 10 grand and what? How much is a flight to Japan cost?
It's not to Japan. It's in Los Angeles.
How much
in
is a flight to
Monaco.
LA cost?
Depends where you live. It
like-
it ships. It says that you can claim this reward from anywhere in the world. So you could
from
be.
here to California. I think it was only on a couple hundred.
Yeah, you could
wasn't
you could do here from California round trip for like 400, 500.
Yeah. I'll have to check because I flew to California recently, but yeah, it was probably around there.
I just bought flight tickets to Utah, so
4.
to go there.
I mean,
Tough
thinking about the price.
I mean like
Oh, how much?
No, I'm talking about like convention, family, what?
Driving around,
This is how you
going to
do
national
that, man.
parks.
Oh, okay, cool.
wait, Jake, did you tell me years and years and years ago that Utah was like an state,
Utah was what?
an amazing state, and is super underrated?
Yes, I love Utah.
That is new to me and very strange.
That's so Jake.
It is
It's
very Jake.
it is one of the
Very
best. It is one of the best states in the country. It might
It's not
be.
a bad thing, Jake.
It might
Just
be
saying.
my favorite state in the lower 48, or in the not
Lower
the
48.
contiguous 48. There we go.
Okay.
It might be
That
my
statement is very Jake.
as a single state. Yeah. There's
What is
so
Utah
much.
going for it?
Oh, there's so much going for Utah. All right, this isn't really
Jake, do you wanna
podcast
talk-
related,
do you
but
wanna-
have
Do you
my
want
doorman
to talk about
doesn't.
personal finance as well while we're here?
oh yeah, let's talk about personal finance.
Come on, this is a gaming show. Let's go.
I would love to have like someday we do like a one-off episode that's just about travel. That'd be awesome. I could
That'd be cool.
I
I
could-
could talk about.
I could do like a
travel
I could do
for
like a 10-hour
could-
podcast about travel.
We could show all your viewers how privileged you really are, Jake.
That's not really the point I'm trying to get at here.
Get rocked. And then I could get my friend who's traveled all over Europe, and it's like, what were you doing? It's like, oh, you're in college. Oh, yeah, of course. I was failing tests while I was in college. It's okay, I graduated anyways.
Europe is cool.
No, we've all failed a test or two.
I could talk about Europe.
No.
Not much.
Next topic, Shenmue sucks.
Yeah, by the way, like there's a lot of different $10,000 categories on here. And yeah, there's 3 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3, so 13 people donated 10 grand to Shenmue.
I got this better. All the money will go to Shenmue, and if we reach that 10,000, we're gonna send Julian to have dinner with Yu Suzuki.
Yeah.
You can tell him about how big of a fan he is.
I can't believe there's 22 people who pledged 3,000.
I could see
I
that.
don't know, man.
That's
I don't know how
People have dreams, all right.
And that's literally just the Yu Suzuki jacket and the $500 and less categories.
Who is this guy? Why is he so important?
I have no idea. I'm assuming he's a character in the. Oh no, Yu
Yu
Suzuki.
Suzuki was the creator.
So wait, yeah, this isn't even a jacket that's like modeled off the game. It's like
Yes,
modeled
it is.
off
It's Ryo's jacket.
Rio's jacket signed by you. Okay.
Jesus Christ, Jake.
All right, I misread it like 3 times. It's fine. All right.
Ryo's jacket signed by Yu Suzuki.
For some odd reason, I read
Who
it
is
as
this Yu Suzuki person?
I read it as
is he a character?
I read it
What's
as
this jacket from?
Oh, hold on. I read it as Yu Suzuki's jacket signed by Rio. That's how I read it.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So I
That's
was
funny.
like, what's so special about this Japanese dude's jacket? Can you just like buy it in a shop, or did he have it custom made?
You could totally just get a replica off anywhere else. You don't have to pay $10,000.
This is official, and it's signed by Yu Suzuki.
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, seriously, next topic.
Yeah. All right. This is our last topic. Or no, it's
It
not.
is.
No, it's our second to last topic. I forgot to pull up the last topic, but that's fine. All right, second to last topic. Forza's loot boxes and pay tokens are going away. This topic is just sort of thrown in here because it's obligatory when loot boxes disappear. We have to talk about them.
Yeah.
So another loot box gone. Cool.
Another one down. Another
Cool.
one.
Next
Another one
topic, because
bites
none
the
of us
dust.
play Forza.
Why
Yeah.
is that-
And apparently they're not returning in future games, at least as of right now. So
They're not returning.
like they're not gonna bring loot boxes or paid tokens back in the future
Got it.
Forzas for now. So
I know I
Cool.
said this about Shadow of War, but same thing applies here. Now that they've removed them from a game, any other game that wants to add them has to justify why they would add them when all these other games are removing them.
Got it.
It's like this other game removed them because, in their words, it was bad for the game. So you adding something that everyone thinks is bad to the game, and EA will be like, "It's pride and accomplishment, whatever."
Man, EA is screwed. Battlefront 3 won't have loot boxes.
true.
EA, just make Battlefront Legends for the love of God.
Just make a good game, EA, please.
Just make Battlefront Legends and put all the Legends characters in it, because people would rather play as any of the low tier Sith Lords than Kylo Ren. Nothing on him, just like, man.
Whoa.
His go-to name in the community is Darth Bitch. So
I have not heard that.
yeah, I made it up. So I am the community, though.
All right, next topic.
All right, so this is our last topic, and it's not
Okay.
it's not a good topic. It's not
It's
a real
very
topic.
real topic.
Alright.
We're gaming TMZ now.
All right, so yeah, professional Call of Duty, and I'm not going to show it quite yet. Professional Call of Duty player Douglas Phase Sensor dumped his weather girl girlfriend Yanette Garcia to spend more time on Call of Duty.
Oh, this story.
That reminds me of that
She's
one
a
picture where
babe.
it's just this Japanese girl in a in a room with a bunch of video
Well,
games. Like, I
yeah,
couldn't
this-
call a friend.
Yeah, this is
I wouldn't have time for video games.
This is the weather girl who this article title is super clickbaity, but this is the weather girl who went viral a while back for being like very attractive for a weather girl, especially. So,
Okay.
and this is just some gamer nerd. And he
No. Literally, he literally slid in her DMs and it worked. She barely spoke English. He barely spoke Spanish. Still worked.
Wait, she barely spoke Spanish. Oh, he barely
English.
spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay,
She
I
barely
got you.
spoke any English. They still made it work.
Apparently not.
Not anymore though.
Wow.
So
I mean,
But I mean, COD is his job. It's better than holding her hostage. Half-assed.
yeah, it's just it is interesting.
I'm
So-
reading the article. It's
I believe someone wrote an article about this.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call it an article.
Barely.
mm,
It's certainly not news.
oh. Garcia has 6.5 million Instagram followers, and Martin only has 1.5.
Well,
Maybe she dumped him.
But on YouTube, he has 2.5 million subscribers, and she only has 480,000.
I mean, 1.5.
I'm not sure
on
why.
IG
I'm not sure why it's.
for some dude that
Dropping
plays
these
COD,
stats.
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, 2.5 million YouTube
They probably
subs.
follow for his pics with her.
Yeah.
That's actually probably true. I mean, yeah, on Instagram, naturally, the woman is just going to have more followers. The attractive weather girl.
Wow, Jake.
Attractive.
Yeah. I'm just telling it how it is. There are statistics to back this one up.
Jake,
Do I
you're
need- do
saying
I need to
if I
get
had an
Aaron in here?
Instagram, you're saying if I had an Instagram, I wouldn't get many viewers? Is that what you're telling
Jake, is Aaron not treating you right? Is that why you're looking at other women?
me?
Jesus.
Just remember, Jake, it's 2018. If you don't treat your man right, another one will.
What?
You could tell her that.
All right. Well, I think this is a good
God,
place
I
to
love you, Mitch.
end it. Who's got a song request?
We still do that?
We have to sing it. Of course, we have to do our own. We have to do our own rendition. We can also do an instrumental song.
Is anybody here Irish?
Oh, let's do the Mega Man. Let's do Mega Man 2. What stage is that?
Boogaloo.
No, the Mega Man 2. You know the da da da
Super
da da
fighting
da
robot.
da 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 da
Fighting
da
robot.
da 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 da
Do
da
you guys
da
remember the
da
Parental
da
Falls version of that?
da da.
Mega, Mega, Mega.